Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Tips with Monica, guys. Come on in, come on in. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button as you come in. Um, if you want to share me out, share me out. I want to make sure that you guys, if you're new to the channel, if you're new just now coming here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you're watching the replay, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. As well, guys, we do have, I want to go ahead and tell you guys, we do have a membership. If you want to join our membership, you can hit that join button, or you can, if you have an iPhone, you probably won't see the join button. But if you check in our description box, um, you will be able to see the our join button link. So thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for coming. Hello, Christine in real life. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. How you doing today? How you doing today? Um, Thank you so much for coming. Um, what we're going to talk about today, guys, we're still going to have this. I'm still doing the daily tips on check your privilege. And if you did not watch the previous, honey, I understand. I'm tired too. I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna try my best to you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm a little tired. I'm every time once they get close to the weekend, I get a little tired. But that's why some Saturdays and Sundays I don't go live um because I be trying to get a little rest. So um but I'm okay. Thank you for asking. Um So, what we're going to talk about today, guys, is if you have not noticed that yesterday we talked about how to check your privilege. And um, the first thing that I talked about yesterday was when someone tells you to check your privilege, what it is not saying, what it is not saying. And I'm just going to recap of what I said yesterday. The first thing I said on yesterday was don't take it personal or as an assault. So when someone tells you to check your privilege, don't take it personal or take it as someone is insulting you. They just want you to have a little more compassion. The second thing is don't doesn't mean that you haven't struggled. So no one is denying the fact that you haven't struggled with something. They're just saying, check your privilege. You may not what you struggle with may not be something that I am struggling with right now. So resonate. Try to resonate with someone. The third thing is no time to defend yourself. Don't go on defense mode and get to the point where you feeling like you need to defend yourself. Hey, Jessica Fonte, thank you for coming. The second thing is not a time to demand to be educated. So when someone tells you to check your privilege, don't try to demand someone to educate you on why they feel the way they do or why they feel oppressed. I'm just going to say that was what I talked about on yesterday. Hey, Trisha, thank you for coming. That's what I talked about on yesterday. If y'all guys have not checked out the first part of check your privilege, then make sure you check that out. Um, what I am going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the second thing today. What we're going to talk about, we're still on check your privilege, but I am going to go more in depth on how you really can check your privilege. What when someone tells you to check your privilege, what you need to do. Um, the first thing is check. No, I'm sorry. It is how can you check your privilege? Let me take that back. The first thing is check. I only got confused. Excuse me, y'all. I promise you, when you're sleepy, everything start coming together, Lord. Okay, so the first thing is reflect and investigate. When you are being asked to check your privilege, it gives you a chance to do some serious reflection about your own life in the lives of others. How can you do that? How can you do that is by researching. Ask yourself some key questions as what are the things I take for granted as a member of a privileged group? And I'm not talking about a racial. It could. Let me tell y'all something. But as and let me just say this before I go further. It's more than white privilege, and this is not a race thing. It's more than you could be privileged. It's black people that are privileged to certain things. It's different type of privilege. As I was researching this and as I was getting into the tips and stuff like that, I learned it's more than just white privilege. And I don't want y'all to think that that's who I'm coming for. No, I'm not. I'm coming for the ones that think different privileges that some people are not have not went through. So don't take the things that I say as a race thing. Take it as a way of educated thing. Of some people are just privileged because they may have not been around certain kind of things. That what makes them privileged to a different kind of lifestyle. Or if you watch my previous tips, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Hey, Patricia, thank you for coming. So let me get back into it. So, as I was saying, ask yourself some key questions. Questions such as, what are the things I take for granted as a member of a privileged group? Why do these differences matter? Privileges is nothing that you have earned. It is just something that you have by virtue of being a part of a social group. When you acknowledge your privilege, you can you can see privilege. Your privilege is like the flip side of a coin. On one side, you see the injustice, and on the other side, you see the privileged group. So, in order to check your privilege, you have to see it on both sides of the coin and recognize that in order for there to be marginalization, there should also has to be privilege. So, reflect and investigate. Um, Self-reflect when someone tells you to check your privilege, when they're telling you about what they're going through, and you can't. um so um so in order for you, I don't got lost my train of thought, but as I was stating, know that you need to research and investigate and reflect back on why your life did not go is not like someone else. Like someone can be in the same society and group as you, but they had a whole different lifestyle. They was living a whole different way. Y'all could be best friends and they could be more privileged than you, or you could be more privileged than them. And it's all because your like true social status and what you are around and what you have been through. That what makes you privileged. Like when I was like yesterday when I talked about your ethnicity, your lifestyle, the way you choose in which you choose to live your life. Like say for instance, you want to be transgender. A straight person can't tell a transgender person how to feel when people oppress them, or if someone decides to say for instance that they're gay and you are not, and they tell you that our own community is so against them for being gay. How you have to ask yourself um that question that I said, why does these differences matter? What can I do to help this situation? I need to investigate and I need to have compassion. I need to have empathy. So I need to recognize that, you know, what this person is going through. And but on the flip side, hey, sincerely, thank you for coming. Um, but on the flip side, I'm not privileged to that. I have a different privilege. But I promise you, I'm gonna get to the point. I don't got time. But just know that on one side, you have to see everything on both sides of the fence. Don't straddle the fence. See it on both sides and recognize someone else's pain. Reflect on yourself and what makes you, they didn't go through the same thing, and investigate it and research and learn more about it. Um, the second thing is, guys, oh, thank you, Lucy. The second thing is cease to examine your impact. Oftentimes, people ask privileged folks to check themselves because we're hurting. It is painful when someone invalidates your struggle. It's painful when someone has marginalized you throughout your entire life and that they have benefited from that. Even if your intention is not to hurt anyone, but when you ask to check your privilege, is recognizing that harm that might have been done. Because while your intentions might be good or neutral, your impact was not. It is important to realize the impact that you have on both the individual and the community that a person is a part of. Ask yourself, why might someone be hurt by what I said? What prejudice might I have fed into as a result? So, cease to examine your impact. Watch what you say to people, and let's just keep it real. Um, Say for instance, because I've been doing a lot of research. Say for instance, I was researching. It says, say for instance, someone that is disabled, they want to work out, but they're struggling. But you're able to work out. You're able to work out. You're able to move your legs and move your arms. And the only thing they can do is be in a wheelchair and move their arms. So you was like, so you might say, girl, it ain't that tough for you. You can get up and do what you need to do. But you don't understand they struggle. You don't understand that it's not as easy as you think when, you know, when you are a disabled person and not be able to move your limbs the way that in which you want to, in which that person wants to move their limb. To the person that is disabled, you are privileged because you know why you're privileged? Because you're able to move your arm and legs. You're able to, you have you have the movement of your body and they don't. So you have to watch what you say. You have to, so sometimes your word can impact people and they can hurt someone's feelings, even though you just want to do it so they can get up off the pity party. Girl, stop that pity party mess. But sometimes you have to also, you have to recognize, this person doesn't have the privilege I have. They have a struggle. So I may have to impact them in another way. Maybe I need to go and lift them up and maybe, help them in some kind of way. Don't always, sometimes our word can cut people. And I'm just going to be real, you know, especially when I know that you can't make anyone do anything. But what I'm saying is your words can impact, your actions can impact people. So when you are privileged, examine your impact. Know what you're saying to people. Be impactful in people's lives. Make a difference. Really impactful is make a difference in people's lives. Make a difference. Don't just overlook them and what they're going through. Be right there with them. That's what all people want, is just to be right there with them. See they struggle. Recognize that, you know what, this is an injustice, or what you're going through, you do need some help. Let me find a way to help you instead of just turning the blind eye. That's what matters the most. Um, y'all, I'm sorry, guys. I ain't even showed this thing right here. I got these, but when I get into tips, I be forgetting it. But the next thing is, guys, tune in, don't opt out. So what that means is, if you are being asked to check your privilege, your instinct might be to defend yourself and talk about your own struggles and derail the conversation entirely, like change the subject to something else. But it is important to push through that gut reaction and instead tune into what the person is saying. When someone asks you to check your privilege, it's time to pay attention and learn something from someone whose life experiences are different from yours and come out of it as a better person or a stronger ally. No one wants to feel like they have done something wrong, and it's understandable that you want to get out of the hot seat. Just allow me a moment, guys. Um, no, as I was saying, when the spotlight is on you for the wrong, I'm sorry, when the spotlight is on you for the wrong reasons, it's totally normal to want to opt out. And that means opt out is like, I'm just not, I'm just gonna give, I ain't comparing no tension. I'm just gonna walk away from it, or I'm just gonna turn a blind eye. Like, I'm not even gonna worry about it. But you missing your lesson, and you're gonna be missing your blessings. So take that as an opportunity to jump in and when you're taking the opportunity to jump in and steer the conversation off course, because you may have missed a valuable chance to learn something. Even when it's uncomfortable, tune into that conversation without being aggressive and let folks from a different perspective let you into their experience, because there's nothing more impressive, guys, than learning from our mistakes and coming back as strong and more compassionate people, because at the end of the day, that's what checking your privilege is really about. What so basically what I'm saying is, when someone's trying to teach you something or tell you something about or educate you something about what they're going through, and you feel like you don't, just because you haven't went through it and you're privileged and you ain't never went through it, does not mean that you turn a blind eye to it, or that you tune them out or change the conversation just because you haven't went through it. This could be something that could happen to you later on down the road. You never know. So tune in and gain the lesson and learn. Learn something and listen to that person. Give them eye contact. Let them know that, I am listening to what you're saying and I'm being compassionate. I'm going to give you empathy, and I'm going to, no one is asking. And sometimes some people, a lot of privileged people feel like, well, they're just saying it because they want a pity party. Some people ain't asking wanting your pity. Some people just want to educate you on how it is and what they're going through. Nobody asking you for your pity party. And some people think it's a monetary thing. Oh, she's just saying it because she wants your money. It ain't even about the money. They don't want the money. They want somebody that's gonna listen and to understand what they are going through. So, like they say, check your privilege, because if you listen to a person, they'll probably, you'll be able to resonate with them. You'll be able to become one of their greatest allies, and as well, you'll become better in the eyesight of other people. So I like I tell you guys, when it says check your privilege, that means be more compassionate towards people. Be more understanding towards people. Listen to people. Don't always just because you a person come at you and tell you you need to check your privilege. Don't be defensive and aggressive. Learn that they're telling you that you ain't went through what I went through. So you can't tell me how I can feel. And see, a lot of people get it wrong when they do that. They try to tell people how to feel. If you have never went through a situation that you've been oppressed or anything, and let me tell you something, people been not only have black people been oppressed, white people been oppressed too, in different ways. It's been different ways, all different. Mexicans, Chinese, all races have been oppressed in different ways. And then I'm just gonna keep it real. We all been oppressed. All races been oppressed in different ways. And you may not agree, and everybody has the right to their own opinion. But some people have just been oppressed because of their sexuality. Check that out. Some people have been oppressed because they decide to date the opposite race. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and recap. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for coming. I hope you guys got something out of this. I didn't have that many tips, but I wanted to come on here. Hey, King Chris World, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming, King Chris World. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and recap. So the first thing that I was talking about, I'm gonna be honest, guys. This is part two. I need you, if you want to get the rest of what I was saying, check the first one out that I did on yesterday, so you can get all the tips and get an understanding of what I'm saying. Um, so the first thing is check and investigate. So check yourself, investigate the situation. That means um, when someone's telling you that, to check your privilege, you need to reflect about your life and the lives of others. This I'm just gonna put it just like that. You need to learn how to do your research to learn about why do certain people be treated the way that they do. The second thing is cease to examine your impact. Watch your words. Watch your words. Your words can cut deep. And you don't want to have a negative impact on people. You always want to have a positive one. So what you say may impact someone else. So don't be too privileged to where you have a negative impact on someone. And then third thing is tune in, don't opt out. So that what that means is tune in to what that person is trying to tell you. If class is now in session. Just know that when somebody's telling you they finna run it down for you, class is in session. It's time to sit up and listen so you can learn something. Don't let it be one ear and out the other. Don't try to change the situation. Don't try to change the subject. Even though you may feel like they coming for you or you may feel a negative vibe, but sit there and listen and learn. You're gonna come out on top. So thank you, King Chris World. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel. For some reason, guys, I'm losing subscribers, but I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna continue to push through, and I appreciate all my day ones. for always coming through. Um, but um, like I told y'all yesterday, don't ever think you're too privileged that you can't go through anything. Some people feel that way, like, my life has been so great, I'll never go through anything. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Never look down on people. Never do that. Teach your children that the reason why I'm saying this is because of the man in the White House. Well, anyway, teach your children to be a good sport. That means that you're not going to always win it all. Sometimes you're going to lose. But as long as you put your best foot forward, it's okay. You're going to lose some and you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. But always be a good sport. Be a good person and accept the outcome. I'm just keeping it real, you know what I'm saying? So guys, that's all I do have for tonight. Um, that's all that I do have for tonight. Um, but I want to say, guys, make sure you guys are checking out my featured channel for the month, which is Kicking It with Lynn. Make sure you check out Kicking It with Lynn. She is, thank you, Lucy, thank you. She is trying to get her monetization, guys. So if you have not subscribed to not Lucy, uh, Kicking It with Lynn, make sure you guys connect to Kicking It with Lynn. Um, if you want to help and just run her playlist, go ahead and do that. Um, hey Angie, how you doing, boo? I'm about to get out of here, girl. Girl, I'm about to get on out of here. But thank you, Patricia. Now, I always want to keep the doors of the church open. So, if you want to get on here and you want to say something, here is your opportunity before I go. I want to always give you guys, I always want to hear you guys' feedback on the topic or whatever. I want to let you guys know tomorrow will be CBG news. Um, it's gonna be a breaking news segment, and I'm gonna want y'all input. So make sure if I hope no one gets offended tomorrow because CBG news probably gonna be a little lit. Um, um, right. The doors of the church is open. So anybody want to come and voice your opinion about the topic? Now is the time before I go. I want to just thank each and every one of you guys for coming. I don't know. Usually around this time because my kids usually be asleep. Um, I try to come late, so we can talk about specific things. But I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but I know it's gonna be something impactful. I feel it coming. I feel it coming. So I want to make sure y'all tune in for that. Because it's going to be a conversation that I think we need to have. And look forward to me having a conversation with Philly Girl I think in 2 weeks. She wants to have a conversation about what I talked about Sunday. Sunday I talked about, um, I was still talking about the election. Like, how can we actually make America great again? How can we twist what he said? Thank you, King Chris World. Thank you so much. Please, please, please come back. I appreciate you for coming. Um, well, that's all I have, guys. Make sure you guys, if you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. And make sure if you have not hit that notification bell, turn that notification bell to all. And y'all, I want y'all to check out my new to Angie Heart 67, guys. Angie be shopping, honey. I love it. Angie, girl, you be all the TJ Maxx and stuff like that, girl. I love it. Thank you, Patricia. So, um, y'all have a good night. Make sure y'all rest. Tomorrow is Friday, so let's get some wine and we'll talk tomorrow night. All right. See y'all tomorrow.